the revelations of season 17, and Sister Wives, it should be no surprise to anyone who has ever watched the show, the claims that I'm making. It is my belief that in season 7, the characters Kody and Robyn were going to steal $2.5 million away from the Brown family. Now, I know some of you are going to say, James, how could you say that? No, but still my heart clutched my pearls. Oh my goodness, I got the vapors. That you would make such salacious accusations. Well, people, I gotta tell you, I have 9 pieces of evidence that I want to present to you today. And you can call me customer service because homeboy is bringing the receipts. Now, before we get started, before we get into it, I would simply ask that if you're getting anything from the channel, you enjoy this video, that you give me a thumbs up to let me know that you're enjoying the content. Also, consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. It helps the channel out, helps me out, and hey, who doesn't want to help a brother out? So go ahead and give me that HBO special, which stands for Help a Brother Out special, by clicking that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications of when I upload new videos, and hopefully soon when I go live. Now let's get back to what we're talking about. Now folks, I'm simply going to say this. I want to put it to you. I don't want to be the only person who makes the claim or the observation that this is what I think was going to happen or what I thought was going on. I don't want to slander anybody's character. I'm just simply observing what I see on the screen. I'm looking at this situation and I'm telling you, if I had a friend or a family member who was in a like situation as Christine, Mary, or Janelle, and they were doing business with 2 individuals who were acting like Robyn and Kody, I would be pulling the coattails and saying, bruh, you need to look at your partner because something ain't right. Now here on this channel, I care about what you guys think. Now if you think that I'm telling the truth, you think that I've supported and made my case, go ahead and put a 3 in. That's 3 for the OG 3. I want to support them, and I believe that they were the victims or the prospective victims of a huge scam that Robyn and Kody were going to run on them. But if you think I'm full of bunk, hey, which is possible, and everybody gets a free vote and everybody's entitled to their opinions. You think I'm completely wrong and I didn't bring the receipts, I didn't bring the evidence, then go ahead and lock in a 0. Let's get a poll going, a little soft poll, so that we can see what each other are thinking, so everybody in the room know what everybody else is talking about. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Let's set this stage. What are we talking about? $2.5 million. When did Sister Wives ever have $2 million? Hell, when did they ever have $200,000 in loose change floating around the family, let alone $2.5 million? The whole point is that when the Sister Wives started to develop the business SisterWivesCloset, they presented an investment opportunity to a venture capital group, and they asked for $2.5 million, which brings us to my first piece of evidence. Now, in my first piece of evidence, I want to make a distinction on what the Sister Wives were actually looking for when they presented to the venture capitalists. They weren't looking for a loan. They weren't looking for anybody to lend them money. What they were looking for was somebody to give them money. So you see, with a loan, you got to pay back a loan. You have responsibilities to a loan. If somebody invests in you and you lose their money, hey, that's just the way the market goes. Sorry, bruh. Sorry. That's the way things happen. Didn't mean to do it, but hey, you take risks. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Don't cry the blues now because you rolled the bones and you lost. Oh, well. So this is what Kody had to say to substantiate that first point.
I'm not looking for a loan. I'm looking for venture capital.
Venture capital, or as Kody would like to say, free money. Now, this is the part where I'm going to bring in Exhibit 2. Now, for my second exhibit, I want to show you when Kody stood in front of a room full of people, did a presentation, and he asked them, looked them in the face and seriously asked them without crying, laughing, sniggling, giggling, or his fingers crossed. He asked for $2.5 million with no way of reasonably being able to pay the money back or anything that actually supports them giving them that money or any security such as collateral to ensure and secure those funds. Let's listen to what he had to say.
We're asking you for $2.5 million of investment capital.
You would expect lightning to strike or his head to explode. You ask for that much money. I want $2.5 million. You would have to be holding somebody hostage for that kind of money. And unfortunately, these venture capitalists don't negotiate with terrorists. So Kody clearly didn't get the $2.5 million, but he tried. When we look at the next thing, We look at the reasoning as to why I believe Kody and Robyn were in cahoots to try to take this money. Now, this is one of many reasons, because there was another clip that I wanted to include, but I couldn't find, where Robyn had talked about the business and using the business to pay for the houses, pay for the cars, pay for this, pay for that, and she wanted to use money from the business to do these things that had nothing to do with the business. I also add in the fact that there is a point when Robyn and the family wanted to come to Vegas, and Kody, he's always down to grow his family, make his family bigger. And this is one of the things that Robyn had presented to Kody as to why they wanted to get this venture capital money going. Let's take a listen. This is Exhibit 3.
I don't think I can have another baby unless the workload that I am.
Oh, now we're gonna cry.
What you have with my SisterWivesCloset lightens up. Okay.
This is the reason why we need to bring on investors.
Oh, this is the reason why we need to bring on investors. This earmarks the first time that Kody actually acted financially responsible when it came to him procreating. Kody would automatically hit the copy button when it came time to make babies. He didn't care about it. He wanted to grow his family as big and as broad and as wide as he possibly can. To hell with the circumstances, to hell with the consequences. When Robyn first moved to Vegas and they were supposedly running from the law from Utah, they came to Vegas, no money in their pockets, renting homes. They could barely pay for the homes. People were talking about they weren't sure how they were going to put food on the table. Robyn didn't have a job. She brought 3 kids into the marriage and into the relationship. Then she turns around, gets to Vegas, and shows up pregnant within a few months or within 6 months to a year of them being there. And she brings in another life. Now, right at the precipice of them talking about getting their business off the ground and being able to make money doing this business, now all of a sudden she wants to grow her family. That's not responsible. That's not responsible. The responsible response that I would expect, or suggestion that I would expect, for me to say, yeah, that's very responsible. For her to say that, look, Kody, I've come to a point where I've reached a fork in the road. I can either, one, focus on having a baby, growing our family, and I take a back seat to Sister Wives Closet and to the business because I want to be focused on raising a family and taking care of a family, or I go the other route where I go all in, all chips in the middle, on Sister Wives Closet. We're going to get this $2.5 million loan from this investment group. And in order for me to support that loan, I'm going to have to give 100% of my attention and time to that business and growing that business. So not only can I ensure the return of that $2.5 million to the investors plus profit, but I can take care of the family. These are reasonable choices. It's completely unreasonable for you to think that you're going to take $2.5 million investment from a group and then step away from the company so that you can go do other ventures and other interests, pursue other interests. That is completely insane. And if she would have walked in and said that in front of these people, oh yeah, by the way, guys, once you give us a $2.5 million, I'm going to put the business on automatic and I'm going to grow my family, they would have had them arrested. Maybe not arrested, but you get what I'm saying. Again, 3, if you believe in the OG3 and you think I'm showing these receipts and I'm bringing validity. 0, if you think I'm full of trash and I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm open for the discussion. I'm open for the commentary. Let's move on. Janelle was told that she was, for the first time probably, that she wasn't the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer of Sister Wives Closet. Now, why would Janelle be in charge of the finances? I mean, after all, she was the one doing the designs. No, wait, that was Robyn. I mean, after all, she was doing the day-to-day operations. No, that would be Robyn. She was acting as the COO, which is the Chief Operating Officer. Now, the Chief Operating Officer is the person who is responsible for the day-to-day business of the business. They want to make sure that the operations are moving forward, the administration is moving forward, the plans and strategies that have been implemented by the CEO and executive board are in place so that they are fulfilling those strategies on a daily basis. That's what the COO does. That's what Robyn was doing, and that's what her description of the role that she was taking within the company was. Janelle has always been the financial person. She has no interest in designing jewelry, marketing plans, operating the business, running the business, calling customers, none of that. She cares about the numbers and the numbers only. Now, why would they take this position? I don't know. Let's take a look at exhibit number 4 and see what the family was doing. Again, vote number 3 for the OG3 if you think I'm bringing receipts, 0 if you think I'm full of bunk.
Do you only see yourself as financial though?
That's all that's all I see. I do have an interest in the numbers and figuring out how it's all working.
But CFO makes the decision on the money.
There's 2 points that I really want to bring out in that clip. One, Janelle said, I have nothing but interest in the numbers. I like to see how things are working. Would you like to keep track of what we spending money on, where the money's going, how much money we have in the bank, where we're putting the money, how that money is leaving the bank? That's what you want to do? Oh no, you can't do that job, Janelle, because clearly you're not the responsible one. Wrong. Janelle is the responsible one, and I'll bring evidence to show that in a moment. The second thing, if you listen to what Cody said, he sat at the front of that couch behind at the edge of that seat, and he looked Robyn dead in her face, them cold dead shark eyes, and he said, look, the CFO is the one in charge of the money. What happened? I thought you wanted to make sure the business was a success. I thought this was her baby. I thought that Robyn was going to be the one that's going to make sure everything runs, because basically she's the COO. But all of a sudden, you're like, no, she's talking about she wants to be in charge of the money, Robyn. And we'll get into that in a moment. And I'm telling you guys, if you believe what I'm saying, hit that number 3 for the OG3. If you believe I'm bringing receipts, hit the 0 if you think I'm not. Janelle has always been the financial person when it came to Sister Wives Closet. In this particular interaction between the Sister Wives and Cody, this is well before there was even talk of investment money and all this big time money, and she was trying to get these guys to be involved with the business. This is Robyn actually looking at Janelle for the financial reports on how they performed at that convention that they went to when the Sister Wives project initially launched. Exhibit number 5.
With the expo last week, Janelle wanted the numbers so she could crunch the hard numbers.
Now, if Janelle was bad with numbers, why wouldn't Robyn look her in the face and say, Janelle, I'm not going to give you that stuff. Why would I give it to you? You can't count. Duh. I'm not giving you the numbers. You don't know nothing about numbers. I'm the queen of numbers. That's what Robyn would have said to her if Janelle wasn't doing it. And here's another piece of evidence. This is my exhibit number 6 that I'm going to point to, where Christine establishes that Janelle has always done the money. When the family was broke as hell and they were trying to figure out finances and they were trying to pay bills, they would rely on Janelle. Now all of a sudden, because there's big money on the table, Janelle's not worth it. Again, if you think I'm bringing receipts, hit that number 3. If you think I'm full of bunk, hit that 0. Let's go.
Ever since I've been married, Janelle's always just taking care of the finances.
Ever since I've been married, Janelle has always done the finances. Well, when you you're good enough to do the finances when there's no money, or when we try to figure out how to actually do money, because the money has to be stretched and we don't have a surplus of money. But the second that we have an abundant surplus of money, all of a sudden you're not good enough to do the money. I don't want you looking at the money, talking of the money, speaking of the money, or smelling of the money. Yeah, that just comes down to the fact that you don't want Janelle tracking and seeing where the money is being spent. Much like she did in season 17, where she said that I'm the one that takes the taxes down. I know what's in the account, and I know that we're spending money out of the account that we shouldn't be spending. Well, girlfriend, you would have been on the hook for that $2.5 million, because they would have been spending that money the same way they were spending it in 17. Talk to me, people. Number 3 if you for the OG3. Number 0 if you think I'm full of bunk. There was another point that you have to ensure, because it's not enough for you to have access to the money, but you have to have cover for when you start siphoning money off. Now, you already have Robyn trying to assert that she's going to be the CFO. She's going to be the person in charge. Cody is trying to push that. Then you had Cody come back and try to retaliate against that, saying, no, I'm not in charge. I'm not the boss. But this is what he had to say on not only a season earlier, a previous season, when his friend Brett came to town and they were sitting there chumming, and they were doing the Alpha Male Avengers, and they were talking about how Cody runs stuff. This is Cody's opinion on whether he runs his family or not.
Everybody knows that I am in charge of my family.
Cody's in charge of 2 things, Jack and shit, and Jack just left town. Now, when push comes down to shove, does Cody believe that he's in charge? Absolutely. Cody believes that he's in charge. Whether he's actually in charge or not is 2 totally different things. And they can be, both things can be true. There was an episode earlier. Again, I could have pulled this up, but I didn't want to get flagged or tagged for copyright strikes because I'm basically playing the show and they say I'm trying to steal their stuff. But there was an episode earlier when they were having a meeting. Christine sat in Cody's chair at the head of the table. Cody comes in and say, "Oh, what, you supposed to be in charge now? Get up out my seat." She gets up, she walks to the other end of the table, she goes to sit down. They say, no, that's another head of the table. What are you doing? And he said, "Yeah, you can sit over here, Mrs. Brown." And then she goes to sit down and he shoves a chair in her and he walks around to the head of the table because he assumes that he's in charge, and it's without question that he thinks he's in charge. And not only does he think he's in charge, he expects them to recognize that he's in charge. But James, there's a contrast to how he presents himself when they're talking about the $2.5 million being on the table from the investment group, and he's saying that he's not in charge. Let's take a listen to my exhibit number 7 so that we can get that context. Again, number 3, if you think I'm bringing the receipts and they were going to take this money. 0 if you believe in Christy, or if you believe in Robyn and Kody and they were completely innocent.
Somebody's got to be the head. Somebody's got to be the leader.
Look how you're looking at Robyn.
When have I been in charge of this family? When? When have we ever not made every single decision by committee? When?
And you see, there's points that I want you guys to pay attention to. If you got to run it back, run it back. But there was a point where Robyn looks at him, and he looks at Robyn, and then he starts in on his whole tirade. And as he's yelling and talking about, when have I ever been in charge of this family? When have I ever been in charge of this business? Why come I can't make private, independent, unilateral decisions all by my lonesome? Who was he talking to? He was looking at Janelle, he was looking at Mary, and he was sliding over there to Christine, maybe. But he was looking at the two of them because they, at the time, those were the two that would have gave him the most gruff and the most complaint about where the money was going and how the money was being spent. He was looking around the room to let them know that I'm going to make decisions about this money, and I should be able to make decisions about this money unquestioned. And this opens the door for them to be able to start siphoning money off. Because if you think about it, they're in their homes paying $1.6 million for these houses. If you say that they got the houses for $400,000 a piece, I think they paid a little bit more, but they got them for $400 a piece. All of a sudden, they could clear all their debt. They could pay the houses off. They could take that money and do an owner withdrawal from the LLC, because that's where the Brown family most likely would have had the venture capitalists give the money to. They give it to the LLC, which makes their personal liability lessen, because all of a sudden, oh, it wasn't us, it was the Brown family LLC. Well, we want our money back. We want the funds. We think the funds have been misappropriated. Oh, I mean, so unfortunately, Brown family LLC is no longer in business. The Kody Brown Entertainment LLC is no longer in business. We're now the Brown Family LLC, and we just started a new business. Oh, well, and this is where I say too, Kody and the family were blessed, because sometimes the Lord looks out for you. And there was an old saying I used to like when I was younger, and I still like it today. I heard it when I was a kid. It goes like this: the Lord looks out for fools and children. And these folks are clearly not children. All right. So when you do things, sometimes you're not successful in the thing because you're being looked out for. If you actually do the thing you want to do, you'll be ruined. Like, they would have messed around and took that $2 million if they would have got it, tried to siphon it off and spend it in other places, pay themselves. All of a sudden, you know, the sister wives are driving around in real nice Fords, and, you know, Kody and the pencil box driving around in Maybachs and a Ferrari. And people would have wound up in jail because none of that money would have been going towards the thing that they gave the money for them to do. I think that this has always been the plan as far as the sister wives business has been concerned. Because if you listen to Robyn talking to Kody in a previous episode back in season 6, well before the $2.5 million question was on the table, Christine and Janelle were talking about getting out of the business, and she wanted Kody to come in and rectify the situation and lay down the law and enforce the situation for her. And this is what she had to say to Kody. Let's take a listen. This is exhibit number 9.
What do you need me to do?
I just need you to support the situation.
I just need you to support the situation. This is him looking for guidance from Robyn, because even though he would have taken over the CEO position or the leadership position, Robyn would have kind of had influence over. I won't say that she necessarily would have been pulling his strings, probably been pulling something else, but she would have been pulling his strings. She would have been controlling him and influencing him in that way. Kody is uniquely bad or, diabolical in his own way. He's not this innocent snowflake who's being controlled and manipulated by the evil source of Robyn. Which also brings up my final point. Why does Robyn want to get the Sister Wives so deeply involved with the Sister Wives Closet to begin with if she was just going to take the money, her and Kody? The reason why is because the name is the reason. We're going to call it what it is. It's Sister Wives Closet. At this time and throughout Sister Wives history of the show, Robyn has always been the number 4 rated wife out of the 4 wives. She's always coming dead last. She's the least liked, most unfavored person on the show, period. They dislike Robyn more than they dislike Kody. Kody is down there at probably number 4, and Robyn is a clear number 5. Mary's number 3. Janelle and Christine, they kind of shift between number 1 and number 2 and have bounced between those 2 positions. So essentially, if you look at it, this is like a music group. If this was a music group, this is like the Jackson 5. Janelle and Christine have kind of switched between Michael and Jermaine Jackson. And of course, Robyn is Tito. And nobody is going to pay to see Tito. And when rubber meets the road, Tito needs the other 2 brothers to be in the show. More importantly, he really needs Michael to show up. They don't give a damn who else comes, because the Jackson 5 was basically Michael and his 4 brothers. So you have Christine and the Sister Wives, or Janelle and the Sister Wives, and you need them involved. So when she was trying to sell to the investment group that these are the people, that these are the folks that I'm going to have and I'm going to have in my business, and we're buying them and you're investing in them in the Sister Wives brand, she couldn't do it by herself. That's why it was so important for her to have them in it. Now, I can't establish that this was her plan throughout the entire time to go after investor money. I can't establish that. I suspect it, but I can't establish it. Now, I've presented my case, and let me know down below if you think that I'm right. Now, if you think I'm right, go with the 3 for the OG 3. If you think I'm wrong, then go ahead and hit the 0. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die.